My name is Alan Ellis, and I'm with Veterans Burial Center, and I'm the guy that sends you the emails and the videos and the texts, right, to get you here. Now, I am an Army veteran, and if you are not in the Army, hopefully you won't hold that against me. Okay, very good. So what we're going to talk about today, some very important things. We're going to talk about, number one, how to get pre-registered to be interred in a national cemetery. We're going to talk about a personal planning guide real quick about that. And we're going to talk about having pre-arrangements in place. So it's pretty simple. I'm not with the government. I'm not with the VA. The VA will not come to your home. They're not do one of these for you. And if you or your spouse died and somebody called the cemetery and said, what funeral home should I use? They're not allowed to recommend a funeral home. So that basically what they say is Google it. And that's what we're here to avoid today. So very good. As I'm going along, if you have any questions, just raise your hands. I'll stop. I'll answer any question that you have. Yes, sir.
Is there any affiliation with this funeral home?
I work with independent and family-run funeral homes. I do work with this funeral home, but I work with 5 others in the valley. Okay, so I work with them. I don't work for them. I'm not an employee. That's a great question, by the way. Okay. Any other ones before we start? So what my job is to make sure that veterans and their spouse, if they have one, get pre-registered so that the family does not have to wait a long period of time to access the burial benefits. And then also we help them to make the decisions that someone's going to have to make for one or the other if you died tomorrow, and then we record those. And like I talked about, we have a book for you. It's called a personal planning guide that's designed specifically to help the survivor when death strikes. And this is, so first thing is we'll talk about pre-registration with the National Cemetery. Most veterans, when I talk to them on the phone, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm qualified. They just leave it at that. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, what makes you, all I need is my DD-214. Yeah, you're right. Now, the qualifications to be interred in a national cemetery are at least 1 year of active duty, not a dishonorable discharge. Anything in between that, you can be interred in the national cemetery. So when I come to your home, I will bring this paper here. This is the form. It's the actual VA form. And what happens is we'll fill this in. You'll send it in with a copy of your DD-214, and if you're married, your marriage license. Then what will happen, the VA will send you your letter of qualification somewhere between 1 month and 6 months, depending on which desk it lands on, I guess. Okay. All right. Now, what this does, when you get your letter of qualification, it speeds things up a bit. What do I mean by that? So when you have your letter of qualification, you can present that to the funeral director or the funeral arranger, whomever you're sitting with. And what that does, it lets them know that you're already qualified to be interred in any of the 140 something now national cemeteries in the system, with the exception of Arlington, because that's Department of the Army. Yes, sir.
But some of the cemeteries are full. For instance, St. Augustine Cemetery doesn't accept any more.
Where's St. Augustine?
St. Augustine, Florida.
Florida, okay.
That's just one example. I didn't know whether there are many others that are full.
So typically, I'm not familiar with St. Augustine, but typically when that happens, a lot of times they'll have wall niches to put cremated remains in. For instance, Prescott, Arizona is a national cemetery. They only accept cremated remains. Okay. They won't even, you can't even be interred in there anymore. So yeah, so how this works is the veteran can be interred at no cost, and so can the spouse at no cost. So this is what the VA will provide for us veterans once we get inside the cemetery. They'll provide the opening and closing of the plot or the wall niche, depends on what you want. They'll provide the concrete box that encases a casket, but they do not provide the casket. We get a bronze flat marker out here at the National Cemetery. It might be different at different national cemeteries, but at the National Memorial Cemetery of Arizona, it's all bronze flat markers, and if you're in the wall niche, it's a flat plate. So they'll provide that. We get our military honors and a 30-minute committal service. By the way, taps out there at the National Cemetery are live, not on a recording. And you'll get your honor guard salute. The family will get a presidential memorial certificate of interment so they can find you. And 5 years from now, it's going to look quite different. So that's what they will provide. And again, the spouse gets buried free. Now, there are state memorial veteran cemeteries in Arizona. There's a difference. So, for instance, there's a new one in Marana, Arizona. That's an Arizona State Memorial Cemetery. The veteran can be interred at no cost with the same benefits as the National Cemetery, except the spouse will incur a fee which could be up to $1,000. The reason I say up to $1,000 because currently it's about $800. So 5 years from now, it might be closer to 1,000. So that's the difference between a state memorial cemetery and a national memorial cemetery. So we'll fill this in. You'll send it in. I'll give you an envelope to send it in. I used to send these in, but guess what happened on the 31st day? My phone starts ringing. Where's my letter of qualification? Right? And I'm like, I told you 3 to 6 months, or month to 6 months. And like, oh, well, I'm just checking, right? Okay, so this puts the responsibility on the veteran or the spouse to send it in. That way you'll have confidence, you sent it in. Please send it in.